I'll call this November 12th, 2025 Board of Zoning Appeals meeting to order. First, pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. David, do you want to do roll call?
Yeah. Pete Saunders.
Here.
Vicky Guszkowski.
Present.
Mark Danielson.
Present.
Brian Cager.
Present.
Nate Laux. 4 present.
Thank you.
I finally turned it on.
Approval of minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Motion passed. Item number 5, variance for development 25-12 petition, detached accessory building to principal residential building from 10 foot to 8.5 foot. Will the petitioner step forward, please? State your name and address for the record.
Hi, Doug Beege. I purchased property at 1817 Indiana Avenue. My current address is 1 Marine Drive, Michigan City. So this house was built in 1938, and we're going to completely gut it and redo it, take out the radiators and all that. You know how the old houses have small bedrooms? Well, I want to put a decent-sized master bedroom on the back. And so half of it's going to be a master bedroom, half of it's going to be a 3 seasons room. And my designer and my builder drew the drawing. They like what's there, and they don't want to change it. Well, 1602C2 of this code says that you have to have, the 2 structures have to be at least 10 feet apart. And we are at 8 feet 7 inches. So I'm asking for developmental variance for that space in between where the porch is going to be and the garage already exists. I'm not moving the footprint out towards the property line at all. It's all right between my house and my garage. And if you look at the standards, it's certainly not going to be injurious to the public health and safety or general welfare of the community. Nobody's going to be affected like this in an adverse manner whatsoever. And strict application of the rules will affect me because we're going to have to redo everything, redraw everything, and I don't want a smaller bedroom than what we drew. Any questions?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Staff. No questions from staff at this time? David, you want to?
Yeah, just real briefly, item number 5, variance of development standards 25-12 petition is to reduce the minimum building setback for a detached accessory building to a principal residential building from 10 feet to 8.5 feet. This property is, as indicated, is located at 1817 Indiana Avenue. Staff has inspected the site and gone through the request and detailed out in the staff report. As you can see, the proposed addition is going closer to the existing garage. Just going through some of the photos that I took of the site, just so you get a vantage point of the house and the garage. This is from the front, as you can see there. And then, so this is from the back. As you can see, the existing garage is there. The existing stone structure, which the petitioner wants to come closer to than what is currently allowed. The approval of this is to reduce the minimum building setback between the detached garage and the principal or the house. Will not be injurious to the public health, safety, and general welfare because the proposed addition is between the existing house and the garage. The use and value won't be affected of the surrounding properties because it is contained within this site, and it's not increasing any setbacks beyond what is already there. So the strict application of the terms of the zoning ordinance will constitute an unnecessary hardship if applied to the property for which the variance is sought because the homeowner would not otherwise be able to build a reasonable addition to the existing single-family dwelling without the variance request. So staff does find that the requested variance of development standards petition conforms to the goals and policies of the countywide land development plan. The requested variance to reduce the minimum building setbacks is compatible with the development of adjacent lots along Indiana Avenue that were constructed on average 100-plus years ago. So staff does recommend approval of the petitioner's request to reduce the minimum building setback between the detached accessory building and primary house from 10 feet to 8.5 feet as part of variance of development standards petition 25-12. And I'll answer any questions if you have them.
Any questions?
No. No.
At this point, I'll open it for public comment. Is there anyone from the public? So hearing none, I'll close this portion, public comment. Do we want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the variance.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Thanks, sir. Item number 6, variance development standards 25-13 to exceed maximum accessory building area requesting 976 square feet. The petitioner step forward, please. State your name and address for the record, please.
Hello, my name is Krista Medina. I am the owner of 816 I Street. I am here today because my petition to have a gazebo built in my backyard has exceeded the limit of 721 square feet. The total area with the structure being built will be 976 square feet. It exceeds the limit by 255 square feet. The structure size will be 16 feet by 24 feet. The rear end will be reduced from 10 feet to 6 feet, and the side will be reduced from 10 feet to 4 feet. The structure is not over the property line. It is all in the property. It is behind my garage, so it just seems to look like it's an extended part to the garage. I don't believe the structure will affect the property in a negative way. I believe it will enhance it in a positive way by updating the yard and giving my home an outdoor area to be able to spend quality time in. The structure will also provide a place for shade, which my yard is lacking of. Does anybody have questions?
Have any questions currently?
No.
Okay, so just to make clear, you're building this on the garage or off the side of the garage?
Yeah.
Okay.
David, would you like to do this?
Yeah, so item number 6, variance of development standards 25-13 petition is to exceed the maximum accessory building area requesting 976 square feet in total area. In other words, the petitioner proposes to allow a 16 by 24 covered roof addition. You can see on the presenter here that the red dot is where the addition would be located. Site plan is a little unclear, but just wanted to show that for reference. Staff did discuss this with the petitioner. Originally, since this property is located in the B2 General Commercial Zoning District, there is only a setback of 3 feet from the side in the rear yard for accessory buildings. And it's because it's not in a residential district is why there's different setbacks. Just going through the photos of the site, as you can see, as the petitioner has described, the proposed covered roof addition doesn't extend beyond the plane of the existing detached garage, which is 24 by 24 feet. And this is just showing from the back on the other side of the fence. You can see is well within the limits from the backyard there. There's the addition. And then this is just showing from the back, just showing the property lines there. Staff did go out and look at some of the accessory buildings in the area and discovered that there is a range of sizes in the area from 120 square feet to about 976 square feet on surrounding properties just in the general vicinity around, specifically around the Porte High School. As you can see, just close by, there's a garage that's kind of an extended bay with a garage on the back. And then again, just going further down I Street to the north, you can see the same thing, addition on the back half of the garage. And so staff does find that the requested variance of development standards petition conforms to the goals and policies of the countywide land development plan. The requested variance to exceed the maximum accessory building area is compatible with the existing accessory buildings in the surrounding area. So staff does recommend approval with a modification of the petitioner's variance request to allow 976 square feet of maximum accessory building area as part of variance of development standards 25-13. And I think I threw in the modification because we changed the building setbacks because 3 feet is allowable under the zoning ordinance, so you can just disregard the modification there.
Thank you.
And so, yeah,
I don't have anything.
Do you have any questions?
Not from me.
Would like to make a motion?
Make a motion to approve the variance of development of 25-13.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Thank you. Item number 7, 2514, 9,368 square feet requested.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, board members. I apologize, Mr. Schaffner couldn't be here due to work and asked me to apologize for him. As David has summarized very well, my client's seeking to add to his current pole barn that's on his property that formerly was in the county and now is part of the annexation. He'd like to bump it up to 9,368 square feet and exceed the height for an accessory building. We submitted with our petition drawings of the building, what it's going to look like. Mr. Schaffner owns Schaffner Construction. You can rest assured it will be very appealing and an asset to the neighborhood.
Is that funny?
I don't have anything.
And to just clarify, it's for personal use, not business use.
Correct.
Okay.
You know how we men are, the older we get, the more toys we collect, so he needs some more
Storage.
storage space.
It's quite a big increase, though. That's-
I'm sorry?
It is quite a big increase from just under 7,000, right, as the
Right.
allowance, to 9,300. Correct?
Right.
David? Would you like to-
yeah. So item number 7, variance of development standards 25-14 petition is to exceed the maximum accessory building area requesting 9,368 square feet. And also on the notice documents was to exceed the 18 feet because the petitioner would like to go flush with the existing structure that's already there. That didn't make it on the agenda, but modification for that because it was noticed in the documents that the applicant has sent out. Just wanted to make that clear for the record. The parcel is 13.07 acres, as you can see is outlined in red. There's an existing building and a larger house on the property there along West 300 North. As you can see, the building would be a 40 by 60 addition to the existing building. You see, with 2 garage doors, the petitioner would like to add an additional
Bless you.
1 or 2 garage doors there. I think the elevation didn't make it in there, but that's okay. And so staff has reviewed the request and does find that the requested variance of development standards petition conforms to the goals and policies of the countywide land development plan. There's requested variance to exceed the maximum accessory building area and maximum building height for a detached accessory building is compatible with the surrounding area that have similar accessory buildings in the general vicinity. So staff does recommend approval of the petitioner's request to allow 9,368 square feet of maximum accessory building area and the increase in the height, maximum height of 18 feet tall, as part of the variance of development standards 25-14. And I'll answer any questions if you have them.
And to clarify, the addition's not 9,000 square
No,
feet.
I
The total
understand.
building will be after the addition.
It's one question. Still planning to try it this year or in the spring?
I believe he's still planning on trying it this year.
Okay.
We did quit getting 8 inches of snow.
Any other questions from panel? At this point, I'll open up for public comment. Anyone from the public? Hearing none, I'll close public comment. Do we want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the variance 25-14.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed.
Thank you.
Thanks, sir. Item number 8, 25-15.
Good evening. Scott Savanek from Dillon Group, Tommy Evans from Dillon Group, John Cabbage, the developer. We're here asking for a couple variances. The property is located southwest corner of Monroe Street, Boyd Boulevard. It's on 31 acres. We actually, from last meeting, we had a meeting at Planning Commission. We listened to everybody. We went back and redesigned the subdivision itself. We removed a lot of interior roads. With that, that's why we're asking for a couple of variances. It's going to be 70 new single-family homes. There's 2 existing homes on site that are actually going to remain. We actually worked that in there. And there's going to be 49 rental units on the north side of the road to be named. We're asking for a variance from R1D Section 4.04. Rear yard setback there is normally 20. We're asking for 10. The reason for that is we don't think it's going to be a real harm to the subdivision because everyone in the backyard is going to have open space. We basically we're trying to keep all the trees that we can in the backyard. We're not going to touch anything. Originally, it was going to be demolished. So we've really listened to the people and listened to the board. That's what we're asking for, from a 20-foot to a 10-foot reduction. Also, we're asking for the front yard setback on the R2B to be 10 feet from 10 feet to from 15 feet to 10 feet. Reason for that is we're just, just the way the units are, we're gonna have about 18 to 19 feet between the curb and the actual building line itself. So you're still gonna have your 20 feet of be able to put the utilities in like we're thinking. So if you guys would allow us to do that, that'd be awesome. We're also asking for variance to allow into the, backing into a street. So what we've done is, on the rental property, so we don't have, on a rental property, you know, it is you have a lot of cars. So we're trying to keep as many cars off the road as possible. So we're trying to add a little bit of, called a parking lot, because with a parking lot, then you have to start getting into landscaping, tearing down more trees. We're trying to really keep this minimal as we can. So we're just asking if we can, instead of have what they call pull-ins, 6 or 7 parking spaces on each side of the actual rental properties, and then we can just back out like anyone else would in a driveway or anything. We're not asking to have 25 or 30 parking spaces, just enough to try and keep minimum amount of cars off the street as we can. We have made the road a little bit wider than normal. It's not the normal standard. We've actually increased it by about, 4 to 6 feet wider than a normal road on the east-west road on the north part. Also, we were asking about getting a waiver for Boyd Boulevard, putting the sidewalk in, but it sounds like talking to the staff, and I'll speak for them, but it sounds like if the developer would be open to putting money into a bank, basically, and then down the road, when Boyd Boulevard sidewalks come in, that money would be added for Boyd Boulevard. But we do have sidewalks throughout the rest of the property. You can get from point A to point B. We've also left a cart path on the south part to go back into the golf course. So that way everyone who's in there, they don't have to get on Boyd Boulevard and cut on over. They can just walk to their golfing. As you see on the south part, there's going to be single-family homes facing the lake. Like I said, in the middle, we basically try to keep as many trees as we can. We're not going to cut any of those down, and then the 2 parking spaces. And I think that's it for now.
Yeah.
If you have any questions, we're here to answer, okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
Nothing from me.
David?
Yeah, so I can go through this really briefly. As was mentioned, Scott mentioned item number 8, variance of development standards 25-15 petition. You've heard the request for the variances, so I'm just going to explain staff's analysis on each of the requests, kind of line by line. And just going through the request for the front yard setbacks, staff feels that the front yard the rear yard setback and the front yard setback allows additional space to be provided for open space within the development itself. So staff does not have any issues with the effect upon the approval of those 2 requests because it is consistent with a lot of the developments in the surrounding area that have happened in the city. And so with that, I would go to the 2 small parking areas perpendicular to the street for the townhome lots to allow the motorist to back into the street. This is fairly typical of a lot of houses in the city of LaPorte. People have to back into a street in order to go. They're requesting the same thing in order to allow additional guest parking for the townhome units. And so those particular things are comparable to what's already existing in the city limits. So staff recommends approval of that request. The removal of the sidewalk requirement, as was mentioned by Scott, along the major thoroughfare frontages. Monroe Street already has a sidewalk on it, on the south side of Monroe Street, so that there's no request there. Boyd Boulevard does not have a sidewalk, and as was mentioned, the city's Trails, Greenways, and Blueways master plan has identified Boyd Boulevard as an opportunity for a future option for a pathway or a trail or a sidewalk, and so certainly welcome the participation on that aspect. And so staff has included a recommended condition, including language in the variance request to allow that to take place. And so, and then do we want to mention the last one?
Yeah, let me handle this one if you don't mind. So, and just one clarification on the last point that David made. So it's pretty standard for communities to require a waiver of installation of a sidewalk for the developer to participate at a later date financially in the installation of a sidewalk or a pathway, which in our case, based on that Greenways and Pathways Master Plan, we would ask them to help us with the installation, contributing towards the installation of that pathway in the future, which would be a more comprehensive project that would, serve a larger area at a later date. And then finally, the other request that was originally made and part of the notices that went out was a request to reduce the required 20-foot wide utility easement to 10 feet as per the Public Works construction standards as they refer to easements. And since that was advertised and part of the petition, we do need to take action on the request. The staff has for that is that the Board of Zoning Appeals actually table that portion of the request this evening to allow us to further work with the petitioner on that request and specifically to work with our wastewater and water directors to see if there is a need for that still based on the design of the subdivision and to verify the jurisdiction as far as what body really needs to take action on that request. So we would be, to be clear, as part of your motion this evening, we would request that you consider tabling that specific item that was included in the request for that reason. So just wanted to add that to the staff report.
And all under one action?
Yeah, you could do the remainder of those as one action, I think, as long as Mr. Worthley is comfortable with that. Since they're all developmental standards requests, yeah.
Any questions currently?
When are they thinking about starting construction?
Hi, I'm John Kopchak, the developer. We'd love to start as soon as possible, so as soon as we get through all the primary plat and related approvals, we'd love to get going, so.
So a month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months?
You know, I always like to be conservative, but probably, you know, start land development like 6 to 7 months from now. That
Got
would be
it.
ideal.
Thank
But,
you.
know, weather dependent and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
That's our goal. Thank you.
Thank you. At this point, I'll open it up for public comment. There's no public comment. I'll close this portion of public comment. Staff would like to make a motion with,
You want me to do it?
With
Try
the
it?
waiver.
Try it. I make a motion for the variance of development of standards for number 25-15 petition, which would be basically to reduce the minimum rear building setback 20 feet to 10 feet in R1D zoning district, and reduce the yard setback from 15 to 10 in R2B, and the public works construction section.
The parking areas.
Two
Don't
small
forget
par-
the two small parking areas.
Just, and the 2 parking areas, sorry.
Yep.
And then the easements will be tabled. Sorry to be wordy.
Sidewalk, the waiver,
And the sidewalk,
waiver form.
And remove the sidewalk, you want that in there also?
that we're not approving the sidewalk waiver, or the removal of the sidewalk requirement, but that we're requiring a waiver to participate at a later date.
So move.
And I'll second that.
So then we're approving based on the condition that they're gonna, okay,
Yeah.
yep.
That's exactly right.
okay, motion and a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes.
Yeah.
Thanks, gentlemen. Old business? New business?
No.
Other business? Adjournment.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Seconded.
All in
Second.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Let's go and get something to eat.